Wait, what? 6. 6 guarantee ability? Or maybe it just meant mods, not there are 6 more added. I mean 2 more added. We see all this text. This is what they've been spending so long, taking so long to do. But if you know anything about Warframe, they do this on a regular basis. So when other games don't do this, I'm fascinated. I haven't even played the game. I'm going through an entire scroll down list of everything they put in the game. Like everything that's new. That's a lot of information they're giving to you. That means they took a long time on this. That's why when people shit on this game, are like, you have no idea how much they put work into this game, and it's labeled as free to play, not something that's triple A. A lot of dumb people in this world that don't understand how good Warframe is. Granted, I would say probably 35 or maybe half of this stuff we already know about, but the other half don't. So imagine this line I'm scrolling right now is at the halfway point. Half of this is what we already know from the standard game. It's just them touching it up. The other half are all new stuff. A lot of new stuff I've seen. So that's still a lot of work. It's a long scroll. I'm not going to scroll through all this because it'll take forever. I'm just going to go through all the new stuff, not the ones that I'm familiar with. Okay, so you're that's new. The mouth is not just for riding, you can actually use your mouth to do combat maneuvers. I guess you could say it's the same like Arcwing has abilities on its Arcwing to shoot off abilities, but um, this is not an Arcwing, it's a beast. So we're now doing beast maneuver. So it's not technically an Arcwing or machine, it's a creature doing something. Wait, let me understand this. The very hacking puzzle, one of the many block. Okay. If you're able to solve a puzzle before timer runs out, you'll be confronted by a group of Drax enemies that will attempt to guard the chest. Once vanquished, you'll be able to access the chest unlocked. So if I solve the puzzle, enemies will show up to make sure I don't take it. And then there's a board game called Comb, and it has rules. Okay, so there's a board game I could play in this game as well. Warframe never had a board game before, so that's another thing that's new. I will have to do that on another stream. It's damn a board game now. Oh, so this is a full-on open world now. This is not an open plane like Plains of Island or Deimos or Fortuna. You get to do a lot of stuff here. There's damn horse racing and everything. There's game playing, there's fishing and maneuvers, there's horse racing, there's the standard stuff you do in Warframe as well. There's rescuing prisoners. Well, typically you do that when you do objectives in Warframe. But there's now herding. It's not only racing, you're herding. Typically you do capturing livestock and conservation in Warframe, but there was never any herding before. And there's shrine assembling, that's something also new. So this is like a full-on open world now. So let me see how many new things. That's not same as how it used to be. Shrine assembly is new. Herd taming is new. Horse racing is new. Board game is new. And hacking puzzles is old, but enemies never show up the moment you open something. So, and you have to defeat them, then you acquire the item. So that's new, and that feels very much like a dungeon. So that sounds like a dungeon raid. So that's new. The weapons are new. Enigmas are new. So far, that's 7. Pretty sure there are more. But this is a full-on open world. You get to play the regular Warframe stuff, and you get to play an open world now. So this is the true open world. Plains of Ilon was an open world, really. Deimos was an open world, really. And Fortuna was an open world, really. Those were like the open plains. But they didn't have like activities to do in the open plains. And towns to go to. And cities to see. This is, there are various towns and various cities. And different things you could do in different areas of the world. And people you meet. And dungeons and stuff. So this is this Warframe's first actually true open world. All those things were open plains, and there's a difference. When you create a huge grid, there's an open plane. So it's like a sandbox, but it's not really locked into a small area. It's like a huge area. So it's not really a sandbox. It's like a football box. You know, a sandbox is like a little closed area where you get to play games in. You know, or a small sandbox baseball field, and then you have the huge baseball stadium. So that's what the open plains were in Ilon, like a baseball field, a real baseball stadium or a football stadium. But this is more than the football stadium. This is like the football stadium and the towns that are surrounding the football stadium and the cities that are surrounding the towns. So there are interior and exterior locations as well. Normal zones, okay. There's damn lost islands as well. So we get to go to different islands as well. There are islands as well. So it's not just a huge plain and then there's different towns and cities you go to at different locations. There are islands you get to visit as well. Okay. So this is a full-on open world now. And it's free to play. What the hell? I'm pretty sure it's not like Witcher open world to that level. You know, to that maximum level, Witcher open world. That's a lot of money right there. CD Projekt Red, that's a lot of money if you go to that Witcher route. But even half of that open world is what I'm seeing here. This is like half of that. And if it's not even half of that, it's a quarter of that. But even a quarter of what Witcher open world is or Mass Effect open world is still a lot. That's like a lot of towns and a lot of cities. Like in The Witcher, they're full on like probably 20 different towns or 20 different locations out in your map. On your huge map in the world. And through that huge map in the world, there are various different cities and towns and locations and countries you have to go to. So this is full on like different locations you go to. You go to an island, you go to a mainland. You go to a city, go to a town. But let me not jump the gun. I want to see how it's done. But even if it's not that big a deal, open world, it's still an open world. This is a lot. This is a lot for Warframe. And I'm talking this is a lot for Warframe. I mean, this is a lot. This doesn't feel like a free-to-play game anymore. This feels like something that you actually purchase from a store at a AAA price. But it's not a AAA game. I ain't gonna scroll through everything, otherwise I'll be here all day. I'm already been here like 15 minutes on this. I want to see everything, but I want to spend... But I also don't want to miss anything important. What's circuit progress? Oh geez, there's that too. Probably scroll past on a lot of new other stuff as well. That's new too, circuit progress. Never heard of that before. Carrion Guinness. Also new. And Carrion Guinness is also new. Or maybe it's been there and I've never paid attention, but never heard of it before. Also new in Carrion Guinness. And we're at the end. I'm pretty sure I missed a lot because I scrolled past a lot. Probably scrolled past at least 7 or 8 new things, but I did catch on to a lot of new things, and those things exceeded more than 5 new things. Actually, those things exceeded more than 10. Let me just go up real quick. Hopefully I could get up real quick. So if anyone's interested in this game and has never played Warframe, you could look through this before you even play the game, or stop and pause this. So the new things for Warframe, if you're not a veteran and you're new to Warframe, and Karen Gittison is new, that's 1. Circuit Progress is new, that's 2. That's because it's part of this game mode, the circuit. Dormizome is new, that's 3. Various map locations, also new, because obviously it's an open world. So that's 4. Hacking puzzles, that's 5. Because it's not a normal hacking puzzle. It comes with other criterias. Board game is new, that's 5. That's 6. Enigma is new, that's 7. Kaith, or however you want to call it, or Kaith or Cath, the Cath mount, that's 8. Cath racing, that's 8. Having the Cath itself, that's 9. The Cath having combat maneuvers, that's 10. Because you could just ride it. They didn't have to give you maneuvers for fighting and leveling up the Cath. The Spiral, that's 11. Visage inks, I never heard of that before. Several new Visage inks are available. Oh yeah, Visage inks did exist. Changing the Drifter melee combat, that's 12. I mean, that's 11. I remember the Cath. We have Cath already. I mean, not Cath. Face paint. So that's 11. Okay, different paths to choose and how melee style and to do certain things. That's your 12 right there. Equestrian Bond. I think that comes with the cat, so that's not really that new. And this one, that's 13. This guaranteed ability in survival modes. Typically, you have 6 Warframe mode abilities, so unless they're talking about something new, you have 2 additional. But if it's still the same 4 abilities, then it means they've modified how to use certain mods, and it falls into a 6 guaranteed ability and survivability categories now. Of course, the standard has always been the guaranteed base mods. It's always been there. So that's 13. Okay, the very specific tension cave offerings. That's 14. How you start your game off from the very beginning. That's 15. You get to choose to play as you always have or start a new path. That's 15. That's never been in the game before. The cave is also new. Choosing your path is one thing, but the cave and certain things you could do in the cave, such as challenges, preparations, how you set the things up in the cave in advance before going into combat, that's also new. That's 16. Okay, your actions Duviri contributes to Nightwave Axe. Your player has to complete. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so even though you do something in the Duviri world, it affects what you do in the other world to a certain degree. So that's 16. Or if I said 16 before, that's 17. Paradox Path. Okay, that's part of the quest. So the quest itself should be 18 or 17 if I missed a number. It's new because everything in the quest is new, and how you do the quest is new. So it's not just a quest and a new quest to do, it's how you do things in the quest is new. Otherwise, I wouldn't consider it to be different changes. And also new is the day and night like cycle isn't like the day and night cycle in Warframe. Apparently, the day and night cycle is based upon the mood of the character known as Dominus Trax. So he will not, when things change in this world, it won't be due to the sun or due to beast on the planet like it does in Deimos, or weather conditions as it does in Fortuna. It would do based on just one individual's, because he rules over this domain, this realm, this space and time, or this vortex world, or this universe. I think it's an alternate reality. But things change in this world based on his mood and his feelings. And it changed at least 3 or 4 times based on what I've heard before. So it's more than just a day and night cycle. It changed pretty much multiple times. So he has a lot of power in order to change how anything happens within this world. Period. So that's, if I didn't say, that's 18. If I didn't say it before, it's 18. And that's pretty much it. I might have missed 1 or 2 more. So maybe there are actually fully 20 different things that they add into this game that isn't part of what you are typically used to. So I'm going to assume that there's more than what I've actually said, and probably more than what I've actually known, such as things that involve the UI as well, and how you play and how you move and how melee works and how corrosive works and how everything works. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the game now. But I'm pretty sure there are about 20 new things. So far I only found like 18 in total. 17, 18 in total. But that's still a lot. If it goes past 10 new things for an update, then that means that they put a lot of work into it.
Only one, Paterno. Don't get greedy.
You've been bad.
So for this, because I have no idea what I'm going to be experiencing, I'm going to pick a Warframe that's probably not going to die so easily. I'm going to assume I'm going to be in a situation where I'll need a Warframe that... I'm going to stay with Nyx since she can go immortal. But based on the situation, I have no idea what I'm getting into. So I'll shut up and I'll just play the quest and try to keep it silent from now on. Actually I won't tell them anything. If they ask me a question or want help, I'll just help them. Hopefully I'll be able to get out of the quest and help them. If not, I'm going to be stuck in the quest for a good minute. So no recruiting of anyone today, or no farming of anything today. Just trying to get the quest done today. Probably ain't going to happen. But if it's close to what I heard, it's not as long as New War, but it's a good more than an hour. I would say I'll be able to get it done today, for sure. With New War, I had to like come back a following day because I wasn't gonna play a 5-hour quest. New War was long as fuck. I hate to say it that way, but that's a long ass quest, and it was good too.
Begin again.
Royal Highness, ladies and gentlemen, and entertainment. How many times will one dissenter die before accepting their fate? Once more, how many times will one fool die? How much will one proud human soul suffer? Before bending a knee to the greatness of their eternal king. Citizens of Duviri, it is a well-known fact to each and every one of us, yes, that the unbent knee must be broken. Begin.
Ever get that feeling you're stuck? Spinning inside your little wheel, only to find you're right back where you started. So it goes, day by day, year by year, until you're dead inside. You feel nothing. You're just a prisoner, trapped in the spiral of someone else's dream.
Begin again.
You've made the king furious. And not just him. Me! We've both had enough of you. By order of His Majesty Dominus Max. Death by impalement. You will look at me when I... But you can't send it back to Aha! Even better! Death by Initio!
First thing is first. Must set our audio. I want to hear everything, but not too high. 90 is good. Special effects. I think that's good. Speech. Yeah, I think everything is good. Visual. Brightness, contrast. Brightness, just a little. No, I think the brightness is okay. Alright. Should I wait? Confirm.
Why not? Now what?
This won't last. You're as hollow as the rest of these dolls. relax. What's gotten into you? Where's that apathy I've come to love?
Okay, so maybe this is like just like a save point or checkpoint. I can't use Void Blast or Void Beam to do anything with it. So yeah, maybe it's like an indication point. This feels smooth. This feels smooth. I like when I ride a horse, it feels smooth. It doesn't feel rough.
I am the Bombastine of the courtly stage, until that witch Lucinia took it from me. A fancy new hand, sire. Lucky you.
I don't belong here. Shit. I don't even know why I'm talking to you. You're just some Thrax plaything, right?
Too true. Not like you. No matter how much work I put in.
I'm just looking for a way out of here.
A way out when all of us are obliged to stay?
Where?
Yonder.
Don't get in my way.
Ah, The audience loves you. Of course they would.
There's a delay when in the speech when the character speaks to anyone. There's a lip delay within the motion of the actually the character itself. The animation for the character moving and speaking. There's a delay within the words that he's saying to the words that the movement of the mouth. So yeah, it's about the only bad thing I've seen so far. The delay time with regards to the speaking.
What the hell?
He's right, what the hell? If this is the drifter being trapped in another world where dominance tracks exist, then and he's back on his Zariman ship, then that means when he's on the ship, every now and again he gets transported to the dominus tracks world, and then he comes back here. But as Tennos, we're actually in our own Warframe world. See, because if you've never played this game ever before, there's two worlds, or there's a folded world. There's the origin system, the one where we are playing right now in Warframe. It's kind of like playing Fortnite or Destiny. You're playing the standard Destiny game in the standard Destiny universe, and then there's the alternative universe, Destiny. So that's what the drifter is. In the Zariman ship, where he's in, he's kind of like trapped in a void, and the void kind of takes you to a folded reality of the reality you're in. They're still operating at the same time. So when you move your left hand and your right hand, the character in the alternate universe or alternate reality is moving their left hand and right hand. But they're not doing things the exact same way you're doing things. You could be shaking someone's hand with your left hand, but he could be shooting someone with his left hand. He could be running for his life on a horse, where you could be just running on the treadmill doing a workout. Or he could be going to sleep and catching some 8 hours of sleep, where you could be, you know, losing 8 hours of sleep because you've been up all day. So, but they have to be parallel. Well, actually, he wouldn't be losing 8 hours. You'd be sleeping as well, but it won't be the same way you're sleeping. You won't be sleeping because you choose to. You'll be sleeping because either someone's forcing you to sleep. It basically has to mirror the same, but how they go about doing things is different. Like he sits in here in this place and eats his food and speaks, while you could be on your Warframe missions doing stuff to defeat, like, you know, Kyla the Thane or something. You know, as long as when you're doing things in a mission, doing a mission, he's probably out doing a mission as well. So when you're back on your ship and let's say you're building a form in your foundry, he could be back in here and he could be building something in a room, let's say a toy or something. Or when you like feeding your feeding your Kubro in your ship, or petting your Kubro, he could be sitting down and drinking coffee. So they almost have to like mirror each other, but not exactly the same. So when Mesa is like defeating an enemy, or you're doing an endless survival, he could be in a mission doing something that's survival-like, but it doesn't have to be endless survival. So right now I'm on the ship after his original Zaramon. So technically my Warframe and me should actually be on my ship doing something right now. Maybe I'm just chilling in my room or building a forma. So that's how Warframe works. There's no longer one world anymore. There's two realities. I would never thought it would get to a day where I'm playing two realities in Warframe. But that's where we are now. It's like you're playing, like I said, it's like you're playing Destiny, but you're not playing the same Destiny. You're playing Destiny and then you're playing alternate reality Destiny, but both at the same time. See what I mean? There you go. My younger self is doing something in my Warframe ship right now while I'm doing something in here. So technically as I'm running around right here, my other younger self is running around, but he's not on this place. He's probably on the ship or somewhere running around. For all I know, he could be on Fortuna running around, but he is running around doing something. He scared the hell out of me just now. It's really weird, man. What is it that my mother told me when I was young? Don't play with your shadows. This is what's happening right now. I'm playing with my shadow. Yeah, I'm gonna cut it out before I start freaking myself out. I am a bit colorblind, so sometimes a color could be a certain color and I wouldn't be able to see it because it's a certain color. So I might have to adjust my screen to see where the next light is. Oh, there it is.
For the person who has everything, a little something extra. Be on your way. That oreworm is hunting, and it has your scent. Though you could buy some time if you fed it Lucinia first.
Come on now.
I've never seen you get this far. Sad, isn't it? Though, not like you can feel a thing.
The vegetation kind of looks the same, but just slightly improved. It looks a little bit better than the Warframe world. I don't know what it is. It just looks a little bit more realistic. Slightly improved. Just slightly. I'll say like by 0.3%. Drifter intrinsic. And let's see, I'll assume this is the place where I get to select what weapons I choose before I even go into combat. Maybe that's what that is. Yep, that's what that is. Select the weapon, and then there's a practice dummy. Warframe never had a practice dummy before. They usually had like a simulator, but I appreciate the fact that there's a practice dummy when you don't really need to go through the whole simulator. You could just test out the weapon and how it works and how much points you get and how much crit damage you do on practice dummy. So that's another thing they're included in the game. So if I was down to like, I say I 18 things, I didn't realize they were going to have a test dummy in the game as well, so you can practice your weapon on. So that's number 19. So now there's another thing in the game that's new, a practice dummy. Trying out weapons before you go into mission.
Right now, you're thinking, is this real? Or some fevered dream?
Okay, so apparently this is Teshin Dax. How he's alive is unknown. I saw him die in New War. So, if the rules of eternalism works the way it works, even if you die in one reality, it still means you could live in another. Because our boy here, Operator, got sucked into a wormhole of the void, was trapped in this reality, but technically he's still the same me. So, if the logic of what happened to Teshin is the same, his body might die in one, if he got sucked into the void, he still exists in the other. If I remember correctly how eternalism works. If you were to choose between your mother and your father, had to choose which one would die and you have to pull a lever, who would you choose? So I'm trying to remember. And he says, if I remember clearly, they both live and they both die. Or is it neither? Because even though the body's dead, the soul isn't really dead, it's still alive. So Teshin's body might be dead, but his essence can live on, I guess, travel in another body or still exists here. I don't know.
I'm wondering why the hell this all feels so damn familiar.
Emotions. They guide where others fail. The king's spiral takes away time, experience.
You don't seem like the others.
I am Teshin. Oh, yes. And this is, well, it was you that named her, remember? Terra. I remember her oceans crashing wild under churning skies. This place is a nightmare facade of that world. A prison from which you must escape.
I'm just so tired.
The figurine you pulled from the Paradox, the lost toy of a temperamental child. You need only to find the rest of its pieces.
You can't be serious. You can keep the doll. I've got to get as far away from this as I can.
You know you cannot run from here with Thrax on the throne, but by all means, try again. I'll even give you my blades. Until the next spiral, then.
Alright, so that's another thing included in the game. Target lock on. This game never had target lock on before. Automatically when you lock on to target was based on the system of tracking at very close quarters or at distance. When you get close enough to the enemy, it locks onto them without you actually doing lock on. But now this game includes target lock on. So that's yet another thing they add to the game that they never had before, target lock on. That you can actually physically do yourself. So I'll change that because I'm used to playing Souls game and make the target lock on the R1. Which is perfect because I hardly use ability menus anyway in Warframe. Finding it is another issue. Warframe has so much buttons. Wait, let me see where they have the target lock on. Anyway, it should be here. I wonder if it's just for the drifter. Frame fighter, railjack, shall listen. Let's see. Target lock on is square. Would it allow me? Square is context action. I think it might be just for the drifter itself. So let me look for hotkeys, actions. Yeah, it might just be for the drifter itself. It can't do it for Warframes. Which makes sense since the Duviri Paradox is a totally different world. So what they're doing is they're keeping how the mechanics of Warframes stays within the Warframe you'll see the lock on. Because this is mainly applied toward the Warframe itself, not towards the drifter. Makes sense in a way. If there's a way, I'll probably figure it out later. But that shouldn't be the case. I mean, if that's the case, then there should be something there for the drifter as well. See, there's here something for Arcwing. There's here something for the railjack. Perhaps the drifter is not as complicated as, obviously it's not as complicated as the railjack and the Arcwing. Being interfaces is controller or gameplay. Don't see it here. Lock on. It's probably just for the drifter himself.
to make a new friend. Trying to make me jealous, are you? I'll find him soon enough. till I warn you.
Personified. Quick, you must find a way to the mainland. impressive. If you are done gallivanting across the skies, might I suggest finding shelter on the mainland before Loden's wrath is turned upon you? You're thinking, is this real?
Some fevered dream. All right. Teshin, I'll try it your way.
You remember. Good. Now, we can begin. Warframes. Brought here by the Paradox. In the world beyond the wall. They were the weapons of a warrior caste called the Tenno.
What I don't understand is why does it switch back and forth between him wearing a ponytail and showing his face to it now showing him with his hood on. That's something I never understand that was present in New War. Every now and again it switched between what you customize your outfit to what is actually given to you within the quest. Some game actually has the same problem. And other games like say Code Vein, they don't have that problem because they implemented their character when you create a character to be the exact character that you actually see within the cutscene. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work for you to go and customize a character and put everything on the character and then have said character to pop up in a cutscene with all your fly gear on. That's a lot of work. That's why I always give respects to Code Vein. They're one of the few people that could actually make a game that does that. They try to do it here, but sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But most games don't get it work right. So Warframe is one of those games that don't get that right either. So that's about the only second thing I found in regards to the game that's a little off. The combat, I would say it's improved since the operator. Original operator combat was always meh at best. This is I'll say about 5% improvement. Because giving him a swords, that's an improvement. How he used his abilities in combat is an improvement. And how he does parry, and how he does executions and recovery. Well, recovery is always the same, but how he does parry and impact maneuvers with regards to his weapon is improved. So there's technically three things that's been added to the game. The movement of how he used the weapon, how he execute an enemy using the weapon, and how he does combos using the weapon. So those are three things that were added to the game. And the Pegasus type horse, I haven't gotten to the melee combat using the horse to assault enemies with using the horse yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna probably not doing it in this video. I'll have to. There's a lot to unpack and a lot to learn. The enemy AI doesn't seem to be that difficult, but then again, that little fight that I had with those enemies, lock on and all that stuff, that was simply a tutorial. That's why the enemy was waiting around to see what I was going to do and taking their time. They're not like, Dark Souls first encountered boss enemy. Because Dark Souls first encounter boss or Elden Ring's tutorial boss wasn't he's a tutorial boss, but he really wasn't there to tell you how to do stuff. The game told you how to do it before you entered the room and fought the enemy. So you either read what you learned and then memorized what you read and then went into the room to fight the enemy and then get your ass kicked. Or since he was the tutorial boss, he wasn't difficult. So in this case, these enemies aren't that difficult because they incorporated the tutorial along with the enemy, so the enemy waited for you to fight them rather than you learn the tutorial then fight the enemy. So it was the teaching you while fighting you at the same time. We call that on-the-job training. So that's what he was doing, on-the-job training. That's why the enemy didn't see difficult. So if anyone bitch about the tutorial, that's what you call on-the-job training. They're going to wait for you to get it, then you can move on.
I suspect your hand may offer a way to control them as they did. Choose.
So three things in the game that are wrong so far, or off, just three things. Everything else seems to be smooth. Like I say, the melee combat with operator was never that big a deal and still isn't, but it is an improvement for how it used to be. So they've made the operator a whole lot more useful than he was in the past. So if you like using your operator in Eidolon battles, now you could probably use your operator in Eidolon battles, plus using melee weapons off the operator, not dependent on the Warframe as well. So that's a very good improvement. I'm not sure if you can actually use melee operator weapons in Eidolon hunts, but then again, this is the beginning of a new frontier for Warframe. So maybe you can start actually use operator melee weapons against Eidolons from now on. Who knows? I haven't got to that point yet. So this is where, from what they told me, or should I say from what they told the community, the Warframe community, this is where anyone who first played Warframe would start. So everyone, new player, old player, will be introduced to the Duviri Paradox. And is at this point you could choose the beginning Warframes, like it was back in the past, like 7 to 8 years ago.
Relax. Let your mind adjust to the dissociation.
Okay, so this is a little weird. Typically, in Warframe, when you take control of a Warframe, it's your spirit or your essence or your void power controlling it. So basically, his soul is inside this thing, moving it around. But that has nothing to do with the body. So the body was here, but now the body has gone. But his personality and self essence is now in here. So where did the body go? he doesn't have a cryopod like the Warframe in your ship, hanging out at the back of your ship. So that means when he takes control of this Warframe, the body gets either transported somewhere, and eventually they're going to tell us where, or if the body does not get transferred somewhere, it means only one thing. Our boy, the operator in this world, the Drifter, doesn't have a body. His body doesn't exist. He could take on a physical form of how a body looks like, but he's by all purpose just pure energy, which means he's actually dead and not corporeal. Like he has a heart, blood, lungs, but which doesn't really make sense because we saw him in the alternate world eating food and drinking coffee and those things. So unless that could mean only one thing, he could eat, he could drink, he could sleep based on energy alone, not based on organisms of heart, blood, lungs. But if he does have those things, then where did the body go? Body just don't disappear. He would have fell to the ground somewhere, or he would have been transported somewhere. So that's yet to be explained. There used to be wall running. I wonder if they incorporated wall running. Probably. Is there a way to do wall running? Maybe. But I believe they said they got rid of wall running. Wall dash across. Jump onto wall and hold. Oh, jump onto wall and hold. But I am holding. Oh, I see. By just pressing it once, he automatically jumps forward on his own. I don't even have to guide him. So I just walk to the wall and then hold it, and he moves forward on his own by just holding it. So I never have to guide him. Okay, so let's say I run to the wall and just press X. As long as pointing in that direction, he'll do it by himself. Very good.
All right. I think I'm ready.
Then go. The King's Reach is weaker here in the Undercroft. On the surface, I suspect this Warframe would be a liability, attracting his every worm. But here, you can roam free and revel in its power.
So what am I doing here, Teshin? A joyride?
You are seeking a paradox. You'll need more than her hand and my blades to survive above. Here they come.
Yeah, you can't lock on. You can't lock on with
There's
Warframe.
something else down here.
Yes, a paradox. You must find it.
Yeah, the lock on is only for the operator melee combat. Thought they would add lock on to the Warframes as well. That would be nice.
Think you can hide from me down here, Drifter? I play wherever I want.
By the way, the Boltar is still good. 7 or 8 years later, and the Boltar is still good. If you know how to mod the Boltar is still one of the best puncture weapons. Of course, there are better ones now, but it's still good for low level, mid level, and even some high level enemies if you mod it correctly. So you can definitely kill level 100 enemies if you mod it correctly.
You're no Tenno, but I have seen worse.
Sure. You want to tell me what's so special about these Tenno? This ain't so hard.
From the other side, they command the self-same powers of void that make the walls of our prison.
Hold on. Hold on. What the hell's going on? Is this not our drifter that we experience in the new war? Is this not the same drifter? If this is not the same drifter, then this is a completely different dude. Okay, so this is a completely different dude. I'm thinking this is the drifter that was in the war. That's not the same dude. He is not the same person. I was wondering why his operator's skin looked different and his outfit looked different. So this is not the same operator, the same drifter from New War. This is a completely different person. Because why would he say, what the hell are Tennos? Or what's so special about Tennos? Like he's never met the Tenno before. So this dude has been here, Dominus Track's place, and he's not on the Zarman. So when I'm thinking of running in the Zarman and I see the Zarman, the statue that's also in the Zarman ship, and he's in the ship playing with his shadow, that's not the Zarman ship. And this isn't the drifter from the Zarman. This is not the guy from the New War. This is a completely different person. Because why would he ask that of Teshin? What's so special about Tennos? Like he never knew, like he never met them before. So this guy is someone completely new. Okay, so it makes sense though. If you're new to Warframe, it would make perfect sense. If you're a new player to this game, if like you just download it and everything, you don't know what's going on, it would make sense. This is the way of introducing new players to Warframe. Because they've never played the new war before, so how the hell would they know anyway? So that makes sense, perfect sense, that he wouldn't know what a Tenno is, or operators are. It makes sense, good. Now I know.
I suspect the Paradox is their attempt to help us.
Okay, so my head is starting to hurt a little. This is the Zarman ship. So he was on the Zarman. So he's on the Zarman ship, but he's not the drifter that's on the Zarman ship. This is a totally new drifter. He's not attached to the events that happened in the New War, where the drifter met the Tenno. This is a new person. He's never met an operator before. But he's on a Zarman ship. So is this person attached to my Tenno? Because I already have a drifter attached to my Tenno. I already have my own drifter. So who is this drifter attached to? Is he not? Okay, so I'm guessing he's not attached to anyone. He's on the Zarman ship, and whoever he was attached to is either dead or is still alive in the universe somewhere. But he's not my drifter. And he has his own Zarman ship. Okay, so with that in said, now I just need to put that to the side. Understand that I have my own operator and my own drifter, and this guy is a third party, a different drifter who has his own ship. Okay, As long as I know that, I'm good.
I didn't know all that yet, did I? It was war, after all. It defined us. We were made to hate without reflection. No vacations. I suppose. Saturn, maybe. I've always wanted to see the... Oh, feeling better? That Warframe took a greater toll on you than I expected.
Who are you talking to?
If you are recovered, we must begin at once to seek the other pieces of Thrax's figurine. Manifest the same as paradoxes on the surface. Thrax will reset the spiral the moment he senses a Warframe on the surface. We will save that for the Undercroft. This should at least give you a fighting chance against his false stacks. All his horses, all his men. The sooner you find the pieces, the sooner you get out of this place.
How'd you end up here anyway?
Through the eye of a storm. I'm not sure if I was dead or alive at the time. You?
Oh, it's been too long on that ship, or maybe the same way you did.
He's in a mood. See for yourself. You have angered Thrax, and because he is a creature of emotion, his world follows. From the Duviri tales, the Prince of Fire. Be wary. In the story, the king's men had blades of molten steel. has gone too damn far this time. He's had his Dax confiscate my belongings! Pound them into the dirt! And get my goods back.
Retrieve that. And tear off the thieving fingers that stole it.
The most petty and trivial things could spark Loden's anger, but the flames quickly rose.
Does that brat on the throne have any idea how often I've had to send forces into the Undercroft to clean up his mess? Maybe you'll do a better job. See what's amiss.
The longer you can keep this Undercroft manifestation active, the greater the gains for the other side. The Void gives as well as takes. Those you slay may drop concentrated life support. life support drop imminent. Periodically, life support will appear. Use it only as you must.
Now, anger is a powerful weapon, be sure of that. But it burns friend and foe alike.
Grown suspicious of me. His spies approaching are now to surveil me! One more bucket of piss splashed in my face for the world to see! Take care of this before we're both in the stocks!
Friends and family were scorched and retreated away from him. So his rage became like a stone in his chest, weighing him down.
The Imp allows chaos to brood under his very nose. If I had my way, I'd have all those Undercroft portals bricked up! Get in there! And find out what's wrong this time.
Alright, so based upon gameplay, I did about 30 minutes of actually going through everything about Duviri in the text, and probably about 15 minutes of actually trying to train and understand how this world works. But not technically. I didn't do a full 30 minutes of just going through every document that was there. I would say it's about 20 minutes I spent on that. So between those 20 minutes and learning about how to use every move within this game, I would say 10 minutes since I've part of the tutorial and also understanding how the world and looking around at things. I would say a combination of both those things took about 30 minutes in total. So even if I deduct 30 minutes from this game, it's been 2 hours in. I know a lot of people speed run this and go all the way through. You might be able to clock it at 2 hours in if you speed run all the way from beginning to end. But I don't see how, because even if you ignore the text at the beginning and ignore tutorial and just run all the way through, I'm already playing for 2 hours and 28 minutes, going on 2 hours and 30, and the quest isn't over. So I'm assuming this is a 2.5 to 3 hour long quest. So yeah, maybe you could speed run it and get it to about 2 hours, but I can't see someone at me now playing it 2 hours and 30 minutes hitting below 2 hours. Seeing the fact that I haven't even completed get through everything as well, or fight the giant dragon worm. So yeah, I believe this quest is about 2 hours long. I'm just taking my time on it. But if I'm wrong, and I start this quest tomorrow, and it comes around 2 hours again, then the minimum this quest is, if I shave off an hour, if tomorrow I clock in at another 2 hours, then the minimum this game can be played if you speedrun it is probably 3 hours. Because shaving off a full hour from a game is a lot of time taken away from the game, which means this game is actually 3 hours long. That's if tomorrow I clock in another full 2 hours. If I want to clock in 1 hour, I would say the game can be beaten anywhere from 2 hours to about 2.5 hours. So tomorrow I'll continue this. I'm assuming this is a 2 hour to 3 hour long game. Even if you speedrun it, I think you might actually get it to about 2 hours long. I can't see this game being beaten by an hour and 30, unless you actually ignore everything. But even at 1 hour and 30, that means it's still a long quest, because this is a quest, not an entire story, just a quest. So I'll leave Duviri right now and continue on where I left before tomorrow.